Reach out, get help, break stigma, and live the beautiful life. Hi, it's me, Jen, peer recovery coach, and welcome to Sober Like Me, my channel where we talk about addiction recovery, sobriety. Today, we are going to talk about 4 myths that I see as a coach in regards to getting sober.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose.
All right, myth number 1. I can do this on my own. I hear that a lot. Now here's the deal. Depending on what you're trying to withdraw from, it can be very medically dangerous. And I urge you, if you're trying to stop drinking, if you're trying to stop using Xanax, you need to see a doctor. You can have a seizure, you could die. That is how serious this withdrawal is. It's not something you can stop on your own safely. I don't care what your friend told you. I don't care what you saw a relative do. It is dangerous. Trust me, I've seen it. I am a former nurse. I worked as a peer recovery coach in the ER. I've seen it. Don't do it. Reach out. You can't do this on your own. Especially if you're detoxing from alcohol or Xanax. There is so much more than just stopping. Stopping is the very, very outside layer of the onion that needs to be peeled back, and there's so much more going on inside. Myth number 2. I can control my use. I am in total control. Just if I'm strong enough, if I have enough willpower, if I'm just, I focus on the fact that I'm only going to have a couple drinks, or I'm only going to smoke a couple joints, or, whatever your drug of choice is. The reality is that using isn't about self-control. My question to you then is, what happens when you run out of willpower? Because really, it's not about willpower. It's about finding the right coping skills and the right way to deal with whatever's going on. And sometimes whatever's going on is something that happened in the past, like a trauma. Maybe something's happening currently that is making you feel so awful and you don't know how to fix it. So you're self-medicating. Perhaps you're doing it for fun because that's what you do, right? That's what you've always done. And eventually that fun turns into a habit that becomes an addiction, and it spirals. Myth number 3. I can keep it a secret and I'll be just fine. I want to keep it under wraps. It's no one's business. I'm going to handle this on my own, and I'm going to go back and no one's going to know. I hate to say this, but people know. If you're using that much, people know. That is one of those, that's your little addiction that I consider like a little monster that talks back in the back of your mind. That's your addiction, saying that no one's going to notice it. So if I just don't talk about it and I, do this on my own, that is the solution. The truth is, you need to connect. You need a sober community. You need a group of people from all walks of life with all sorts of different experiences that can help you. Because if you're anything like I am, you feel like, well, I'm educated. I know what I'm doing. I can do this on my own. And then once I started going to groups and once I started connecting with people, I found there were other ways of doing things. There were other groups besides AA and NA, tons and tons. And I found that by talking about it, not only did I feel better and did I feel like I had a family, I was also helping break the stigma by removing the silence. Myth number 4, and my absolute favorite myth, is, well, I went to rehab, it didn't work. The rehab I went to was awful. I'm never going to rehab again. They don't work. Fair enough. Here's the deal. I didn't go to a traditional rehab either, okay? My story and my case are slightly different than some. And because I was a healthcare professional, there's a very long waiting list. We'll just put it that way. So by the time I actually could get into a rehab, I was already sober 30 days. People that say rehab don't work and have tried it, I could send my client to, I don't know, somewhere that's gorgeous, costing $50,000 a month. Or I can send them down into a city where you sleep on a cot and you eat hot dogs for every single meal. Getting sober has to do with you. You get out what you put in. Now, sometimes what's really difficult is there's stuff inside that you need to kind of pull out. Typically the reason people use is for trauma. Of course, there's always other cases. There's always exceptions to the rule. Really what it comes down to is the work that you do. And what I mean by that is, yes, going to meetings and connecting are important. Going to see your therapist, going to your psychiatrist or your addictionologist or whatever plan you have. The really important thing is being able to reach deep down and, as painful as it is, figure out what's going on inside, what's missing. For me, one of the things that I used for was confidence. In my job that I love doing, I always had this fear and this, I guess it's more of I just felt incompetent. And using made me feel confident. And that was only a small layer. Obviously, confidence, that came way before my career. So my point in telling you all this, and without going into gross detail and, hear that story right now, rehab is a place where you can start to find out what happens after. So aftercare. So once you've maybe in rehab, you go to groups and you discover, oh, hey, I was sexually abused, and it's kind of that trauma, that PTSD is manifesting as this feeling I have today, and that's why I'm using. That's only one of thousands of examples. But so let's say you figure that out in one of your groups, and then when you write your aftercare plan after rehab, you know that you need to get help for that. So that is very, very important. Sometimes they seem like, oh my gosh, I get so serious in these videos, right? I'm super passionate about helping you get sober and helping you live your best life and just being the human being that you've always wanted to be. That takes time. A flower doesn't grow in a day, and your inner flower isn't going to blossom, in 24 hours either. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself, your whole self, physically, mentally, spiritually, the whole shebang. Life is about balance, and sometimes we're so out of balance that it takes us time to get back into homeostasis, that balance. So be kind to yourself, treat yourself well, let those emotions come, feel them, it's painful, but once you get through that point, it's beautiful. Recovery is beautiful. And I hope that you keep coming back, and I hope that you keep trying. And I always love to hear what other people are doing and how they're doing it. Just comment below if you have some ways that you think that other people can benefit by getting sober. I love to hear new things, and I'm always up for options. And hey, this world can be tough, but I think if we all gather together and we help each other, it's a beautiful place. I'm telling you, man. So keep doing what you're doing. Reach out, get help, break stigma, and live the beautiful life. I'll see you next time. My name's Jen. I'm a peer recovery coach, and this is Sober Like Me.